Oof. Hey friends, what's up? Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Let's talk today about fragrances that smell awesome in any situation that you may find yourself in, okay? Maybe you're going to grab some fast food. Maybe you're going to the store, the grocery store, or the clothing store, or the department store, or the store, or the fragrance store. Maybe you're going on a date. Maybe you're going to work. Maybe you're going to sleep. I don't know. These fragrances will work in any situation. Have you smelling awesome 24/7, 365, unless it's a leap year, then 366. Got niche fragrances here. Got designer fragrances here. All of these are people pleasers. All of these smell fantastical. Let's jump into it. Let's check these out. Okay, before we get started, Gents10 is the code. Use Gents10 as the code at luckyscent.com or twistedlily.com. Save yourself 10% off your orders, friends. Or pay full retail if you're a dunce. And if you're a dunce, get in the corner, throw that hat on, turn the video off. All right, first fragrance, Acqua di Gio Profundo Lights. This is from Giorgio Armani. Really though, you could put like any Acqua di Gio in this list, and it would make sense because people just love Acqua di Gio. They always have ever since the first one came out. I should know, I'm a fanboy. Quite similar to Profundo, which makes sense because Profundo Lights is, of course, a flanker to a flanker. Everybody's favorite. It's like somebody that has two first names, you know, a big crowd favorite, flanker of a flanker. It's a big crowd favorite. With Profundo Lights, you have a fragrance that a lot of people are going to consider more of a warm weather scent, more of a spring and summer type fragrance, daytime oriented. But realistically, because that DNA is loved by so many people, you can wear that stuff whenever you want. I mean, all Acqua di Gios, frankly. And this is that time of the video where I remind you once again to go ahead and try out some of your favorite warm weather fragrances when it gets cold outside. You may be surprised at how awesome it smells when it's really chilly out. We're gonna move fast here because we have so many fragrances to go over. The next one I want to talk about is Allure Homme Edition Blanche. So this one right here is a little bit of a fan favorite. And by that, I mean people that are really into fragrances. Your average person, they're probably going to be more into the original Allure Homme or Allure Homme Sport, something like that. This one is not going to get as much play, not going to get noticed as much by people that aren't into fragrances, and yet it smells awesome. It has this fantastic, almost lemon meringue, lemon cream pie, citrus note to it, which is massively appealing, and it's a big time compliment puller while having that versatility that the video is all about. So this one right here, Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Make sure to check this out if you never have. The only thing about this that's a little bit of a bummer is I think really at this point, the only place you can find it is Chanel's website. I may be wrong about that, but this one is absolutely not in stock at places like the others in the line are or Bleu de Chanel. Let's work in a niche fragrance next. Atelier Cologne Musc Imperial. And also, going alongside with this one, Prix de Ventus. Now, why together? Well, because a lot of people say that this over here, the Atelier Cologne, smells like Prix de Ventus. And we already know that Prix de Ventus is one of those scents that works year-round, daytime, nighttime, any situation. A lot of people call this the king of men's fragrances. It has pineapple in the opening, a pineapple accord, which a lot of people are head over heels in love with. Also has bergamot. It has birch that gives it the smokiness as it dries down. It has black currant, giving you this tart fruitiness that mixes along with the pineapple and the bergamot in the opening. You got musk in here. You got vanilla. We all know Aventus, or at least we all should. If you don't, put on your thinking cap and also buy a sample of Aventus. That way you know what everybody's talking about when they bring it up. So that's Aventus. Musc Imperial. Does it really smell like Aventus? No, actually, it's not ultra close to Aventus. It does have black currant in it. So when you smell that, you'll be reminded possibly of how that comes across in the Creed. But this has fig, which sets it apart a pretty good amount, a pretty substantial amount from how the Aventus smells, or as the French say, Aventus, but I'm not French, so it's Aventus. This one is maybe a little greener, a little fresher than Creed's Aventus. Not quite as much depth to it, but still super pleasant. And obviously much less people are gonna be wearing this one, but it still does have that mass appeal. After that, let's talk about Dior Homme 2020. That's right, Dior Homme 2020. Both heralded as a modern, versatile, mass appealing masterpiece and a masterpiece of shit. Yeah, because Dior Homme 2020, of course, took the iris that everybody loves from the original Dior Homme, or I say everybody loves. Obviously, they don't if they had to reformulate it because it wasn't selling well enough. I love it, though, and I love it so much that I project that out into the world. Everyone loves the original Dior Homme and the iris. But yeah, it was very controversial because the iris went bye-bye, tossed to the wayside. But this is a fantastic, fresh, spicy, woody, masculine scent that is unbelievably versatile. Let's go niche again with Wake Up World from Pour Moi de Parfum. The best part about this is, of course, the presentation. It's very simple, but it feels good in the hand, but that's not why I know. It's because of this. What's that, you say? A magnetic cap. Now this one throws it back a little bit. So this is going to be for those people that very much appreciate fragrances from kind of in that 90s era. Smells a little bit similar to Minotaur from Paloma Picasso, that is. So this one is both fresh and sweet, and has this citrusy opening with apple underneath, and then as it dries down, it takes on a substantial amount of tonka and amber and ambroxan. It's a really nice one for me because it's good casually. It's also the type of fragrance that has a nice gentlemanly touch to it. Has that sweetness, so it's going to have that appeal, but then it does have that throwback style to it a bit. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Dylan Blue from Versace. I know it is a blue fragrance, but what do you want me to do here when we're talking about fragrances that smell good in any situation? That's specifically what blue fragrances are made to do. These are like super soldiers put together in the lab to do one thing. And instead of kill, which is like what a super soldier would be made to do, they're made to kill it, getting compliments and versatility. So Dylan Blue has that wonderful opening, that citrus, that freshness, that sweetness. And then as it dries, you get incense that comes out, ambroxan. So this one I feel is one of those scents that kind of effortlessly can go from season to season to season to season and fit in everywhere. There's just enough to have it work in cool weather and warm weather. And it's cheaper than Bleu de Chanel. All right, Black Sheep is up next. The One Gray from Dolce & Gabbana. It's okay, bud. I like you. Don't pay attention to them, man. You do your thing, bro. Dolce & Gabbana's The One Gray is the one for offices. That's what it's made to do, but it has more versatility than just being shoehorned, pigeonholed into an office scent, although it does excel at that really, really well. It has a little hint of that The One DNA kind of lurking underneath everything. It's like the one if you stripped away a lot of the overtly sweet spice and amber in there. You stripped away a lot of that, and then you put in some nice vetiver, some very clean facets to the scent. I mean, it's kind of reflected in the name and the look, but thankfully the One Gray still has that The One complement factor. And I feel like if we're talking just year-round usage in the One lineup, probably the best one. Okay, another Black Sheep. Gucci Guilty Black. It's also in the name. Gucci Guilty, one of those lines that people love to hate. Just crap all over the Gucci Guilty line. Oh, everyone hates you. You're so generic. You're so lame. Boo. And yet people still will buy the heck out of these and wear the heck out of them. You know why? Because they work really well. Very versatile, very people-pleasing, very clean, super easy to wear, just like the quintessential dumb fragrance, because it's going to give you that almost clean clothing smell. This one actually has a bit of a green facet to it. So that green at the top of the bottle here, that's reflected in the scent, the black part. It's not really a dark fragrance. There's nothing here that's mysterious or harsh or overly woody or incensey or any of the things you would think of with the fragrance named Black. You think of something like Encre Noir by Lalique, for example. Gucci Guilty Black stuff is so nice in spring and summer and fall. And yes, some people are gonna say, oh, that's boring. But when you get your 15th compliment of the day, you're not gonna care too much. Next fragrance, Ganymede. Ganymede is just addictive. Yeah, this stuff, I don't know how else to describe it. Every time I smell it, I want to go in for more. Ganymede is what H24 should have been. Like H24 was saying, hey, we got this cool, refreshing kind of minerality, this iron, steam kind of thing going on. And then it came out and I hated it. The eau de parfum of H24 is okay. Man, I don't like the eau de toilette. Ganymede though. Boom, this stuff is killer. It's got this fantastic minerality to it. It has a suede leather that is very easygoing, very pleasant, and it has just, like I said, an addictive quality. You smell this and you want to go in again and again and again and again and again and again. And of the newer fragrances that I've gotten in, that I've worn, this one has consistently gotten really, really good reactions. Obviously, it's niche. It's going to be a little more expensive than these designers we're talking about, but for me, that is worth it. I picked that up for full retail. Don't regret it a bit. This one I did not pay full retail for. I got it from a discounter. Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura. So if you're familiar with the Acqua di Parma Colonia fragrances, they're those Italian style colognes is how they're described. A little bit herbal, fresh, green, citric, the type of scent that you would wear like on the coast of Italy when you're still trying to dress nicely and drive your little Alfa Romeo, probably a Giulia. Yeah, not the 4C. If you're not a car person, sorry. Or maybe Maserati. Maybe I'll just say Maserati. People probably know that brand more. These are always very classy scents, fantastic in the office or casual situations, and because they do have that air of sophistication to them, they work well in evening situations as well, even though they come across more like daytime scents. A lot of times Acqua di Parma fragrances you can find at discounters marked off heavily. I got a 150 ml size bottle of Colonia Pura for I think $50. So these fragrances a lot of times you can get cheaper than just everyday designers. Great stuff. And I'd say Colonia Pura is probably one of the more modern smelling of the Colonia line from Acqua di Parma. So if you're worried that it's going to come across too dated, this one may work out better for you. Okay, next up, let's talk about Mont Blanc Legend Eau de Parfum. Now, of course, Legend Eau de Parfum smells similar to Legend Eau de Toilette, which smells similar to, yes, Fierce from Abercrombie & Fitch. Abercrombie and Fish. Abercrombie. Everybody loves Fierce because he's got the dude and he's pulling out his wang. It's a little wiener action. It's what everybody is, what they want, you know? Give them the ween. I can still remember when I worked at the mall, going to Abercrombie, and it smelled like Fierce. I mean, the whole store. If you've ever been to one, especially back in the day, you know what I'm talking about. You would walk in, it was just like a wall. Like you could physically see the wall, the vapors of Fierce, and everybody wanted it because it was this big compliment machine. And then you go get the bottle, and it's just like some dude pulling his pants down in your face. You're like, yeah, I'll take that one. Thank you. So thankfully, time goes on, and for those of us maybe who don't have quite as much money to spend on our good friend Fierce, there's Mont Blanc Legend. And then after time goes by, once again, we are blessed with Legend Eau de Parfum. So once again, you have that Fierce style of scent here, which means you have that same complement factor and versatility. And as often does happen, the Eau de Parfum flanker here is a little bit more mature than the Eau de Toilette. So it's a little richer, maybe slightly less sweet, a little woodier. Darn fine fragrance. It'll work anytime. And also, if you're a guy who's maybe a little older now slightly than you used to be, that happens, and you like that Fierce style, but maybe you think it's too youthful for you, you could check that one out and see if it works. Next up, two fragrances, same house, Elysium and Vetiver Parfum Cologne editions from Raja Parfum. Put the bottles together, make new colors. So we all know Elysium. This is one of those higher end blue fragrances, so it's trying to accomplish the same thing that Y Eau de Parfum or Bleu de Chanel or Sauvage or Acqua di Gio, Profundo, or something like that, or Dylan Blue that we talked about earlier. It's trying to accomplish the same thing, but they're going to give you a little more oomph to your juice, a little more quality to it. So the ingredients a little bit nicer, and the fragrance smells a little more exquisite, a little richer. So if you have more money to spend, you could go for something like this, and it will have you smelling like an absolute boss. People do love the way this smells. It's a big compliment puller. For me personally, at this point, I prefer the smell of Elysium Parfum over the Parfum Cologne, but this is way more affordable. And so if you're trying to kind of split the difference, just go with Elysium Parfum Cologne. Although I will say, when you're talking these, try to sample that bad boy first. You know, those samples sometimes can save you, man, because you don't want to get this in and you think you're going to spray it on. Everybody's going to fall all over themselves trying to compliment you, tear your clothes off. You're just going to be the man. Then you get it in, spray it on, and you realize, actually, I hate the way this smells on me and also just in general. And now I'm depressed because I spent all that money. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Vetiver, well, kind of tells you what it's about, doesn't it? Vetiver. And then the bottle's green. I'm a big fan of Vetiver. I know some of you guys aren't. You have told me in the comments, you told me in emails, you've let me know I'm afraid of the Vetiver. I just can't wear it, man. I see it coming, I turn and run. Some of you will say you tried Gray Vetiver from Tommy Ford. You tried Vetiver from Guerlain. You tried all the V's and none of them worked for you. And I feel your pain. Actually, no, I don't, because actually I really like Vetiver, but I feel your disappointment. So do be cognizant that Vetiver is a Vetiver fragrance. If you don't like Vetiver, probably not gonna like it. But this is a very good, fresh, green, grassy type of vetiver with a nice woodiness underneath. It's got that slight hint of like dustiness that you sometimes get from vetiver scents, but it's actually one of the things that keeps me coming back for more. And it is quite nice in terms of quality as well. It's got that Elysium Parfum effervescence sparkle to it that you expect. Last fragrance, we're wrapping it up with Ralph Lauren Polo Blue Parfum. You guys have heard me whine like a gigantic weenie about how I don't like Polo Blue Eau de Toilette. Wah. Lots of you out there love it, but I don't. It just doesn't work for me. How sad, right? And you may think, well, you don't like the original, you probably don't like any of the flankers. Actually, I like a good amount of the flankers. Not all of them, but a good amount. I like every single flanker more than the original. It's weird. This is the newest one in the bunch and one of my favorites. It's really good. It's one of those year-round type scents for me. I can pull this off anytime, doesn't matter. Of course, blue fragrance, yada yada. We already talked about it. Compliments versatility. You know the deal. This has it. They all do. I mean, any of the big blue fragrances pretty much do. But I really like what they've done here. It's modern, but not too sweet. So it's got that good age range. You know, anybody can pull this stuff off. And it was a nice surprise for me. I actually like it a lot more than I was expecting. I thought it might be kind of iffy, kind of sucky. Turns out, no, really good. So if you go into a store and they got that one, spray it on your skin, wear it around a little bit, see how it works for you. This video ran really long. I apologize, guys. 15 fragrances. There they are. Those will rock all year round, have you smelling awesome. And obviously, you can probably tell here, I try to keep it more toward those fragrances that work really easily in warm weather, because I think those are easier to pull off in cool weather, as opposed to a cool weather fragrance that's super heavy and loud and dense in high heat. Like that is a little harder to pull off sometimes. You spray on a fragrance that's like a nuclear bomb of incense, just fragrance death. You spray that on, go out into a 95-degree heat around a lot of people, start moving around. Man, I wouldn't even want to wear it, let alone smell it. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I'm out of here. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.